Hi friends, E.C. Maltbia here, Senior Pastor of the True Holiness Saints Center in the beautiful city of Conway, Arkansas. And you know what time it is. It is Wednesday Word time. So what is our Wednesday Word for tonight? Our Wednesday Word is fighting. More specifically, I want to talk to you about how to fight fair when you get in heated discussions. So whether you're talking about a heated discussion with your spouse, a family member, a co-worker, whether you're talking about a heated discussion with some random person on the street, we've got to learn as Christians how to fight fair. So what I want to do tonight is start with our social media quote. So what is a social media quote, Pastor Maltbia? It is simply a thought or thesis from tonight's lesson that we encourage you to put out on your social media platforms, to put it out there for information and for also inspiration. So here's our social media quote for tonight. Fight for a solution, not just to prove that you're right. Fight for a solution, not just to prove a point that you're right. Your goal when it comes to heated discussions has to be a goal of resolution. It has to be a goal of trying to find a solution. It has to be a goal of trying to keep the relationship intact. So here's what I want to do tonight. I want to give you 3 keys you can use to fight fair. 3 keys that will help you even in the most heated discussions keep your friendships and your relationships intact. So here's the first key tonight. No name calling. Absolutely, positively, no matter how heated the discussion becomes, no name calling. It doesn't matter how nasty the conversation becomes. It doesn't matter how intense the argument becomes. Please refrain from name calling. So why do you say that, Pastor Maltbia? Simply because name calling is almost guaranteed to trigger an angry response from the other person. It's almost guaranteed to trigger an unhealthy response from them. All name calling does is adds to the tension of an already heated discussion. In fact, name calling is like throwing gasoline on a fire that you say you're trying to put out. So first and foremost, when it comes to arguments, when it comes to heated discussions, when it comes to fighting fair, no name calling. Proverbs 12:18 says it like this. The words of a reckless person pierce like swords, but the tongue of the wise brings healing. Again, I say, you're trying to make the situation better, not worse. So no name calling allowed. Always remember this. When it comes to a heated discussion, attack the problem, but never the person. That's important. Always attack the problem, but never the person. Never allow your undisciplined tongue to damage a friendship or a relationship that it took you a significant amount of time to establish. Always remember this. It's usually better to say nothing than to say the wrong something. You ought to write that down. It's usually better to say nothing at all than to say the wrong something. So when it comes to fighting fair with your spouse, with your family, with your friends or coworkers, with that random person you encounter, you've got to be committed to no name calling. But then secondly tonight, check your tone at the door. Check your tone at the door. I tell people all the time, it's not always what you say that gets you in trouble. Oftentimes, it's how you say it. Yeah, it's not always what you say that makes the argument go from bad to worse. What you say may be true, but it is in your delivery that causes the problem to intensify. So you want to check your tone at the door. You want to have a tone of voice that de-escalates the situation and not escalate the situation. Your goal, again, my friends, is to make things better and not worse. To do all you can to find a resolution to keep the friendship or the relationship intact. Here's what I know about your tone of voice. Yelling at someone is often seen as a sign of disrespect, and it can often be interpreted as you trying to establish dominance over the other person. I believe this is why Solomon said in Proverbs 15:1, the King James Version, a soft answer, in other words, a non-threatening tone, a soft answer, turns away wrath, but a grievous word stirs up anger. So whatever you do when it comes to fighting fair, absolutely no name calling. Keep yourself calm. Because when we allow our emotions to go unbridled, when we allow our emotions to get the best of us, we end up doing foolish things. Our Wednesday word tonight is about fighting fair. For the simple goal of coming to a resolution to keep your relationship or friendship intact. And if you're going to do that, ma'ams and sirs, there can't be any name calling. If you're going to do that, ma'ams and sirs, you've got to check your tone at the door. And then finally, and I'm almost finished, when it comes to arguing, when it comes to fighting fair, you've got to stay on topic. Yeah. When it comes to heated discussions, the best thing for you to do is to stay on topic. In fact, write this down somewhere. Fix one problem at a time. Now that's good advice. Fix one problem at a time. Focus on one issue at a time. Therefore, we should only talk about one issue at a time. In other words, when I bring up an issue with you that's bothering me, don't immediately interrupt me and say, yeah, but you did this or that. Because the truth of the matter is, I may have done this or that, but this is not the right time to address it. We're talking about my issues with you. Always remember, when a heated discussion gets off topic, it can easily turn into talking about everything under the sun that this person has done wrong for the duration of the time you've known each other. Getting off subject brings up a lot of stuff, but it doesn't solve any of the issues. And when I think about staying on topic, I can't help but think about Genesis chapter 3. In Genesis chapter 3, God himself addresses Adam with a problem that he had with Adam. He addresses Adam because he has eaten the forbidden fruit and sinned. And so we pick up the story in Genesis chapter 3, verses 11 and 12. Notice what it says. God asked him, "Have you eaten from the tree I commanded you not to eat from?" Verse 12. The man, immediately getting off topic now, he says, "The woman you put me here with, she gave me some of the fruit of the tree, and I ate it." Always remember, we will never get anywhere if we refuse to address one problem at a time. God tries to address the problem he had with Adam, and Adam practiced deflecting. He wanted to take the spotlight off of him and put the spotlight on somebody else. And that's what we do. The reason we can't resolve issues in our life is because we're quick to deflect. When your spouse or your family member or your friend or your coworker or someone in church ministry with you talks to you about a fault or weakness in your life, we immediately begin to deflect and talk about the weaknesses and problems in their life, and we never get to a solution. Dear hearts, our Wednesday word tonight is simply fighting. More specifically, how to fight fair. How to keep your relationships or friendships intact, even in the midst of heated, difficult discussions. If you want to learn to fight fair, you've got to be committed to no name calling. If you want to learn to fight fair, you've got to be committed to checking your tone at the door. And if you want to be committed to no name calling, you've got to be committed to staying on topic. Until we speak again, my friends, be blessed.